So my name is Simon Whiteley, and I sing bass in the Queen's Six. So the Queen's Six, we are a six-part male voice a cappella ensemble. We are based in Windsor Castle. The six of us all sing as part of the much larger choir of St George's Chapel within the castle walls, and we make up half of the 12 adult singers in that choir. Our job title is a lay clerk, and we're like grown-up choristers, as it were. And yes, so our day job is to sing with the St George's Choir is to sing the 8 daily services in a week. We sing 8 services a week, including evensong, which is one of the main Anglican church services. So one of the reasons we set up the Queen's Six was because we absolutely love singing church music, but there are a huge number of other types of music out there for vocal ensemble, and we wanted to explore some of these more secular styles as well as singing the church music. So we formed the group for 2 reasons, really. The first was to sing some other secular music, and the other was because at around the time we started in about 2008, there was some call for sort of after-dinner entertainment, sometimes for quite important people, and we'd always we'd draw straws amongst the 12 singers from the choir, and we'd sort of put something together maybe a little bit hastily, and it was always great, but someone had the idea, why don't we put a group together specifically for this kind of thing? So we get to sing the church music that we love alongside some of the more fun pop and jazz arrangements that we could sing for our evening entertainment as well.
Arise, awake, 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 you silly shepherds sleeping. Wake, awake, 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 you silly shepherds sleeping. Someone for her sake, to banish weeping, by mirth to banish weeping. Nowhere she comes, she comes, Prince of Tyrian for her delight, pretends to go amazed. You stately nymphs, draw near, streams, your hearts with roses, with roses, with roses,
So we work with, the Queen Six, works with 3 agents around the world. We have an American agent, we have an Eastern European agent, and we have a German agent, Christian Hacker. And Christian organises a number of concert tours for us each year. It tends to vary, the times of year tend to vary depending on our holiday time from our day job singing services in St George's Chapel in the castle. So this year we have a tour in February, that's why we're in Stuttgart tonight, and we also have a longer summer tour around the end of July to the beginning of August as well. So this evening's programme is entitled Baroque Origins, and it broadly traces the influences of the changes in church music from the Reformation. So we start with the music of composers such as Thomas Tallis, and we then go back even a little bit further to the music of Henry VIII, and other composers related to Windsor Castle and the royal family, people such as John Marbeck and Richard Sampson. And so we then have a sort of a royal procession of pieces of music, as it were, taking us up to the music of Henry Purcell, who is one of the exponents of English Baroque music. So we start with music of the 14 and 1500s, and we end up with music of the late 1600s. We then, as we have recently recorded a CD of Hispanic music, that is Spanish and Mexican polyphony, we then move and we do a similar sort of progression using Spanish and Mexican examples. So we start with the beautiful Versa est in Luctum by Alonso Lobo, and we end up with a very little known Mexican composer called Miguel Mateo de Dayo y Lana. And we end with his incredibly bombastic setting of Laudate Dominum. It's an incredible pleasure for the Queen Six to be here singing in the Stiftskirche in Stuttgart, and we really can't wait.
O Lord, make thy servant Elizabeth a queen, to rejoice and satisfy thy strength, thy heart's desire.
I think some of the most special pieces in tonight's programme are some of the new pieces of music that we have come across from Mexico. So we have two pieces specifically. First of all, the Deo y Laudate Dominum. That was a piece that I discovered in some archives. I have a friend who is Mexican, put me in touch with some people at the National University in Mexico City, and they forwarded me some manuscripts, and I edited together this piece, Laudate Dominum. And we think these are some of the first performances of that piece in the present day. There's another piece which we similarly sort of found through a friend in Mexico called In Aurore by Francisco Lopez Capillas, and that's a really rather wonderful setting, and it's a sort of equivalent Mexican piece to Alonso Lobo's Verse Est in Luctum. So I think those two pieces would probably be the most special ones for us. So later this year we have a CD of Hispanic music coming out. It's entitled Journeys to the New World, and it is quite simply examples of polyphonic music from Spain in the 15 and 1600s, and also examples of polyphonic music from Mexico. So the composers who journeyed from Spain to the New World of Mexico and South America, and about how the music of these different composers differ between the two countries, and to see if there are any different influences on these composers. There is one composer on the CD, I think it's Lopez Capillas, who was actually born in Mexico, and he's a very, very rare example of a composer who was actually born in Mexico. So it's a very exciting disc for us, and we can't wait for it to be released.
Laudate Domino, Dominus omnes gentes, laudate, laudate omnes populi, laudate, laudate, laudate omnes populi, laudate super nos misericordia eius, et veritas Dominus, manet in aeternum, et veritas Dominus, manet in aeternum, manet in aeternum, et veritas Dominus, manet in aeternum, manet in aeternum, gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, sicut erat et semper et in saecula saeculorum.